There you are. Oh, I thought we'd have to do the show without you, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting will be a thrill. Grandpa and chill, grandson and friends. Podcasting Grandpa and chill will be a thrill, grandson and friends. With your hosts, Grandpa Barton, Brandon Fox, Phines Jackson, and Sierra Dawes. This is Grandpa and Chill.
Oh, I'm
Aaron,
sorry.
Aaron,
Okay.
do you do any filming?
I mean, I dance, so I don't know if that counts. So I make a lot of videos and a lot of concepts and stuff like that. Put them together and just, put them out there.
Cool.
Yeah, then yeah, you do filming.
Aaron, what kind of equipment do you use to make your videos? What type of camera, for instance?
Well, all I have now, affordably, is just my phone, and I just use a stabilizer, a gimbal.
Uh-huh.
My lady actually just got like a cool camera. I think it's like a Kodak, so we have a stabilizer for that as well. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I just try to use what I have.
Yeah.
I've heard that you can make good videos with a cell phone.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the quality doesn't turn out good all the time, but I mean, if you get a good stabilizer, good gimbal, and you have like a really good camera, then you can definitely mess around with it, make it look professional,
Yeah.
Now, what I've been reading about it, it's more about the person doing the work than about the equipment.
Oh yes, that is definitely true. I think it's really, I think also too, it's, the person that's behind the scenes. Like a lot of the videos that I've made over the years, wouldn't have been as good as they were had it not been for the person behind the camera doing all the special effects and, making it look good,
Mm-hmm.
Does you say you use a cell phone? Does a cell phone automatically autofocus to the distance of the subject?
I think, for me personally, so I have an iPhone 12, so in a lot of ways it might focus, but from what I've seen, if I don't have my stabilizer, then it's harder to focus on the person. Like with a stabilizer, for example, if I have an iPhone and the stabilizer comes with a setting where if I move, the stabilizer moves with me, versus an iPhone, of course, if you hold it, you can move, but you still have that shaky aspect to it. So it doesn't get that crisp, clean, vision. But that stabilizer, you can move and you can shake your hand, but the camera stays steady. It stays stationary. You know what I mean? So it adds a more crisp element to the focus, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
You seem like one of those fancy, in the movies, when in Jurassic Park where the camera's on, the cameraman's got that one thing that can, you know what I'm saying? I think yeah. That's pretty cool. You said your lady, she does art too. She has a camera. So does she?
Oh yeah.
Is she an artist as well?
Yeah, she's super artistic. So for the most part, she's a baker. That's what she does for a living. So she has a lot of artistic ability, and she puts it all into her baking. She'll make cakes or cookies or anything that anybody can think of. She just has a natural gift to just put it together. And so, so she'll use her camera, or she'll use my camera to, to take photos or to take really good angled pictures, and then, edit it, or I'll edit it out, because I've been getting a little better with photography. But she'll use my phone, and then I'll put it in the app, and then I'll just, make it look real nice and stuff like that. But yeah, she has an eye for, just artistic things. She's always been like that,
Yeah. That's why you got into dancing, because all the bacon you've been eating, or is it correlation?
Believe me, man. I'll come home after dancing, and she'll have 24 chocolate chip cookies homemade.
Wow.
And I'm just dude, let me take this one. Let me take that one. Let me take that one. But
you're going to put on some weight when you get older.
No.
Oh no, I hope not. I truly hope not. But sometimes you just can't resist. Like the first thing, I have a bad habit of this. Is like when I wake up in the morning, I get super hungry, and the first thing I'll go to is like a muffin or like a donut if it's available. If it's not available, then I won't eat anything. But if there's like some sort of sweets, and I've been like learning to like not do that because I've learned like, okay, the first thing you eat in the day when you wake up sets the tone for your appetite for the rest of the day. So if you eat something super sugary, then you might have a taste for that throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I have to learn to like, okay, if I want sugar, let me get some fruit, some watermelon, some pineapple, something, but not like cookies and stuff like that. It's just I'm learning to not do that, but sometimes you're just like, can I just get one sugar cookie, just one, but yeah.
So, Aaron, are you a professional dancer?
I don't want to say, I don't know if I should call myself that. I mean, because I don't know if it's just me being like humble, but like, I mean, I teach dance fitness for, there's a company called UJAM. They were with World of Dance, which is like one of the biggest, I don't know if it's the biggest or one of the biggest like dance entertainment like things in the world. And so like, I mean, we teach like these super like crazy like dance fitness pieces and stuff like that. And I mean, it's up there like high caliber. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I can say yes, but then it's like, it's for me, it's just, it's weird because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm a professional, It's just, I love dance. So it's like, when when you love something and that you're good at what you're good at.
Right.
So I guess it's more of like I know that I was, I guess I can say I was gifted to dance and to do this, so I know that what I have is it's powerful, if that makes sense. So I don't know if I should say professional, but
how often? Okay, all right, I can sum this up. On a weekly basis, how often do you dance?
On a weekly basis, probably. Well, to be transparent now, I might maybe get 1 or 2 days in a week, just because like there's other like side projects that I do, like because I make music as well. So I'll either be spending time doing that, or depending on how long the week's been, I might just be trying to catch up on some sleep.
Yeah, right.
But I think typically now, maybe 1 or 2 times a week. But I'm trying to build up the repetition of doing it at least maybe 3 or 4 times and maybe 5 times a week. Just because I just believe like, okay, if you have a talent or a gift of something, that it's good to constantly sharpen it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Constantly grow it and stuff like that, It's like you never want anything that you do be like a dusty book on a shelf. You want to just.
What part of music do you do, Aaron? Are you a vocalist? Are you a musician? Do you record it? Do the recording? What is your function in music?
So I guess I can say that I do vocals. For the most part, I make beats. Like I make, Logic Pro is like my program that I use. I have a keyboard, and then I just make beats. And then, if I feel like I need to put vocals on it, I'll put vocals on it. So that's pretty much like the main music that I make is just beats. And because I'm a dancer, a lot of the beats that I make are like those cool, intricate, complex beats that have all these different sounds in it and stuff like that. But I do also make music for a few artists that I know. So I guess I make both. Like the vocalist side of it, the musician side of it, instrumental side of it. I might even make like some like a movie soundtrack, like score type music, depending on like what type of project it is. But those are just things that I do alongside friends who, you know, are sort of in the same field, who want to make videos, concepts, and pretty much, you know, make a, you know, get their stuff out there or make a statement or whatever the case may be, you know. Yeah.
I know this is really a side note, but this is because I just listened to the album yesterday and I really like it. But the Shaft soundtrack by Isaac Hayes, yo, composing wise, somebody composing something, listening to that is really good. It's a really good album.
Okay.
Yeah, the first song is, you know, you think of Shaft and it's like Shaft, you know, that one, you know, but that's the only song that's like that. The rest of it is like this really, really well produced album. I really like it.
Right. Okay. You know what? It's funny that you said that because, especially when it comes to like movies, like you ever watch the movie and it's like the soundtrack is what hooks you.
Yeah, like
more than
Wash.
the actual. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the soundtrack is what hooks you in what brings you in a lot more to like the movie than sometimes a movie actually does itself. And so, you know, when you said what you about the Shaft soundtrack, I was like, you know, that's definitely relatable, because when you can have a good soundtrack like that just sort of like takes your mind to somewhere else, like as you're watching the movie, or even if you're just listening to the song and not watching anything, but you're just vibing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I love when you can watch a movie and the soundtrack, it takes you to a whole different realm. You know what I mean? I think that's like,
it's amazing today what you can get on YouTube. I mean, you're really able to see tremendous. I was watching Quincy Jones produced a show, Billie Jean Is Not My Gal. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Okay.
Terrific. I think Michael Jackson did it, but this one that he did produced was terrific, and he had some great guitarists on that show. Are you familiar with that? Billie Jean Is Not My Gal?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I am familiar, very familiar with things like that. I think those are things that I grew up on, actually. Like, you know, I grew up on things like that, and it's cool how they're bringing stuff like that back, and they're doing it in a more modernized way, you know, and you get to just see, like, man, like how music like that, how production like that used to be, and then how they're bringing it back to now, and you're like, man, like look at the work they're putting into it now, the technology, the beauty in it, and, you know, of it now, and the you know, the magnificence of it, you know, if that makes any sense. So yes, I'm very familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is recent for me. I guess I just found I should have known, but that the theme song for Austin Powers, you know, dun 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 dun, that's Quincy Jones. I did not know that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, right? Yes. Yeah, right? It blew my mind too. I was like, what?
Wow. That's crazy, because I guess it makes sense because it's so catchy.
He's so good.
Right. And a lot of the stuff he does, you listen to it and you're like, okay. Oh, and then it sticks with you and you're just like, you know, so that makes perfect sense. Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, I blew my mind too. I just recently was like, I had no idea this is his song, or he made this, and now it's like a staple. You hear that and you think of Austin Powers, and
right. Wow, that's like, and see, I think a lot of times too is like when you hear, you can tell like when it's a certain artist who made like the music, because I want to say there's always like a familiar instrument or familiar like chord you hear, or familiar sequence of like
Lil Wayne lighting his blunt. No, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's a Lil Wayne song. I knew that was happening.
You hear the well, you know, you hear that all the time. You're like, okay, yep, I know who's on this track. Yeah.
All right, but yeah.
Yep.
Do you think you have a thing, a calling card that people can hear when they hear your beats?
I believe so. A lot of the instruments that I use in the music that I make, like, so for me, I've always been drawn to like cellos and like deep, edgy synths, like deep, like basses.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been drawn to like I guess like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the ethereal, angelic, like church, like choir, like, you know, vocals. And so a lot of the beats that I make, I tend to put the same instruments into the beat, but then I manipulate it and I make it into something different. So it's like, it's literally, I'll take like maybe 5 or 6 sounds, but then I'll just mix them up and just make it sound like something way different. So I guess I would say I have a calling card. Like if like, for example, if I were to send you like 5 beats that I have, like from my Dropbox, and you listen to all of them, you'd be like, okay. And I think you'd be able to pick it up pretty easy. Like, okay, there's this, there's the synth, the vocals, or there's that instrument, or this hi-hat is very, very, you know, prominent in a lot of the, you know, so I mean, I think so. I would hope so. You know,
sounds really cinematic.
You know, yes. I love, I'm a big moviegoer. I love movies. I just love movies. And so when I hear like a really good score or soundtrack, like I'm so moved by like the majesticness, if that's even a word, but I'm moved by like the majesticness of that soundtrack. And so a lot of the beats that I make have that dum 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 dum, like some sort of like crazy dramatic violin, you know, and then I come in with like this like boom boom boom, and then like I just like, so I a lot of the inspiration that I do have for making music comes from a lot of the movies that I watch. Like I watch tons of movies, and you know, I like, if a movie makes me, you know, if it moves me a certain way, then I like to try to make a soundtrack, I guess, based off of like how it made me feel, or how the movement that I got from that movie, if that makes sense. Yeah. You know,
Aaron, is there a way for you to like play a few bars technologically on this show, or is that not possible?
Like, do you mean like if I were to like
right
put
now,
it, like,
if we want to listen to, you know, a few bars of your music, is what I'm saying.
Actually, I mean, if this works, I'm not sure if I mean, because I have, let's see. I wonder if you can hear this.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Because I wish I could just like double screen, but I can't because I'm not on my laptop, unfortunately. But let's see. Let's see if you can hear this one right here. Now, I call this one Old World because I love Lord of the Rings. So when I watched that movie, there was was it Lord? I think it was The Hobbit. There was a part in the movie, I think, where the dwarves, they came together and they were doing like this harmonization with their hums or whatever, something like that. Yeah, you know what I'm. Yeah, so this. I wonder. Let me see if you can hear it. Is it? Are you hearing it? Is it?
We can hear it. Yeah.
Okay. So it starts off with that synth. And there's a very subtle beat in the back that literally I made with my mouth for the most part, and added an echo to it to give it more of a dramatic, airy effect.
Wait, turn down a little bit.
Got you. Hold on. How is that?
That's good.
The hum is very low because I was literally like literally in my chair, literally like trying to like. I'm not sure if you can hear it as clear, but I don't mind actually sending it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Send it.
Yeah, I really don't mind that at all. I can definitely send it because it's a lot more dramatic when you actually hear it through like speakers.
I can't wait.
We can also put it in the show notes and everything like that.
Yeah, please.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. If there's a a place where I can send it, an email, I can definitely send it over. Like I don't charge. I mean, I don't do that. I whatever way I could, use these like beats to like help, or just to, I don't know, just to help. I'm just like, hey,
These are your compositions, right?
Yeah, these are all original. These are all original. Like a lot of the stuff in here, I think. Let's see, I have at least over 50 original beats that I've made over the years. I have some splices that I've done where I would just see, okay, what would it sound like if I just put a beat over on this piano symphony here, or just played around with it and customized it and see how it came out. There's a lot of music splices that I have that I've done with projects that I've done at dance studios that I've been at. But yeah, all that beat you just heard, that was original. That was all the idea that I had, and there's a lot more that came from. I actually just made a new one recently. It's called Purpose, and that one was made, I think, on the 18th of last month. So that one's the most recent one that I made, and like I said, if you're interested in listening or hearing, I can definitely send them over, no problem at all.
Yeah, please do. And do you have any socials or anything that we can also let people know about?
Yes. So I do have my business account, my for Instagram, which, let me see, I think it's, let me see, is there like a, no, there's not. I was going to type it in the chat box somewhere. But yeah, so my business account is literally my first name. So Aaron, Aaron, _ and then Sully, Sulli, and then _. So that's my business account. And then I have like my personal account, which is my first name. So Aaron, _ and then War Dance. That's like where I put like any dance things, or like just that's my personal account. Like you see more of like what I'm about through that one, really. But yeah, War Dance is WAR and then DANCE. Yeah. So that's my business account and my personal account. And then let's see. And then I literally just started the TikTok, like barely just started it. I think, what is the thing for that one? I'm not even sure. I told myself I would stay off of TikTok. I don't, but
it
slippery slope, right?
It is slippery
yes.
slope. Yeah, it is.
Whew.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. You can send everything over. We can put it in the show notes. I wanted to ask, because we do have other guests, but I wanted to know.
Okay.
You dance and do music. I assume you act as well, right? You said through.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you find the most difficult creative pursuit?
Probably acting.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a very competitive field.
Yeah.
Very selective, which is what I've been seeing a lot of. I have sent in like voiceovers too. Even when it comes to voiceover, that's very competitive as well. And I've sent in like voiceover after voiceover after voiceover, or audition after audition to like different productions or whatever, and they'll be like, yeah, thank you, but we're not moving forward with at this time or whatever, and which I understand. I completely get it. I mean, it's a very selective, competitive field, and people want what they want, and that's completely understandable. And I had to learn for myself, like, okay, I might not fit the bill in most of these productions, and as many no's that I get, there's going to be some yeses along the way. You know what I mean? And so like, it can get very, I would say, discouraging sometimes, disheartening, especially if you're like, oh man, there's this role and there's this position and they're looking for this, and I have all the requirements and I have this and that, and you go out for it and then nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh.
Is anything opening up more now that, this COVID situation seems to be settling down?
Yeah.
Any hope for a better situation for you?
Yeah. And you know what, I've seen a lot of things have been opening. A lot of more opportunities have been actually coming my way, because of everything opening up, which has been just a blessing. Like, let me tell you, like, it's very encouraging to see. Oh, okay, the COVID restrictions are getting lifted, and people are getting more, okay and open about, okay, yeah, we're going to open up this production, and 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 I don't think it's just for me either, but I think for anybody who's actually trying to get into that field, it's highly encouraging for them too, like, to know, like, okay, so maybe they didn't go through with my audition, not because they didn't like me, but maybe because they just couldn't. Maybe some restrictions just stopped them from, maybe it was, over capacitated with people and auditions, and maybe they, had to select a few group of people, and I might just audition at the last minute or got in at the last, so it's definitely encouraging. Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah. It's tough out there right now, especially for actors and people in the entertainment field. It's very tough.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
Do you feel like we've reached the other side of the tunnel? Like the bookend of whatever this last year and a couple months has been, or nah, we're not there yet?
Oh man, that is a good question. For me personally, I still think there's a lot of work that has to be done. There's a lot of improvements that have to be made. And I really believe, like, if like-minded people who, want to see those improvements come to fruition, if we work together, we stick together, and it sounds cliche, but I'm being serious. I think that, we can definitely start to, like, see more recovering, more hope, in people's faces, more, hope for even, like, businesses, or more hope for, like, for anybody really.
Yeah.
But I know it's definitely going to take a joint effort. One person, two people can't just do the work. Like, it's going to take all of us who want to see change happen to, like, actually stand up and, like, go after it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work out there. You just have to be fortunate at the right place at the right time, and the person that they're looking for. And I think things are really going to open up. I'm always amazed. I watch a lot of YouTube musical videos, and there's a lot of advertising. In almost every one of them has an advertisement before the video starts. So there's a lot of work out there.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you guys heard of have you heard of Billo app?
Billo? No.
Yeah, it's an app. Basically, they found me through Backstage, and they're like, "Hey, we want to work with you." And so I said, "Okay." And so basically, they made me they call it a pro content creator, which basically means that there's people who have these brands and businesses that they want to get off the floor. And what my job is like, I make a video to pretty much help their business get exposure. Yeah. And it's like what you said, Barton, is that, like, there's a lot of, when you see those videos, you see a lot of those videos come up before, like, the actual thing. And I think, honestly, like, those advertisements, I feel like, are, like, one of the most important things that you see on TV, because it's like there's these are businesses, people who are trying to, like, make a living, who are trying to, like, get out there. And if we can be a part of, like, helping them advertise their business, right, then that gives them more exposure to be able to go higher. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. And so I've been just blessed with the opportunity to be able to do that and help other people, like, get their businesses off the floor, and I think that's really what it's about for me, honestly, is being able to just like make a good video with good cinematography, good whatever, good effects, whatever, and just put it out there and just let people just be like, oh man, I didn't know about this brand, or I didn't know about this clothing line, or I didn't know about these protein gummies, or you know what I mean, like, so it's,
and restaurants are definitely going to need help. They lost a lot of business in the last year, and they need to pick it back up.
Right.
They can certainly use the help.
We are out of time for right now, Aaron, but thank you so much for coming on. We'd love to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
You're an interesting guest.
Would love to have you back if you're
listening.
And please don't forget to send us send us your beats. You can email them to
absolutely.
You can send them to grandpaandchill@gmail.com.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys for having me. I mean, just the fact that I was able to even be on here is a blessing for me. So I appreciate you guys for allowing me on anyway.
No, thank
absolutely.
you. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks for coming on.
Have a great night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my last comment. This is a stupid joke. You're a mixer. Your girlfriend's a mixer because you guys are both mix things. That was it. That was all. Yeah, I was over here writing that boy. I was like, let me.
Saw the pencil moving for an hour, dude. Phines was just sitting here.
Man.
Mix equal mix.
God damn.
That's funny.
All right.
Okay.
Nice meeting you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bye, Aaron.
It's not a science podcast.
All right. Right.
It could be.
If you wanted it to be.
We try hard.
Thank you so much, man.
Okay.
Really nice meeting you.
You're welcome. Should I just hang up, or how do you
Have a
Get
good
out of
night.
here. No, yeah.
Goddamn mixers.
Are you drinking orange juice, Phines?
Hello.
Yeah, me as well.
Hello.
Zohaib. Oh my god.
What's up?
Wow,
Yeah,
your beard.
It's getting
Wow.
Hey,
Standing for the occasion.
Yeah,
How
I've never seen them stand
First time,
before.
actually.
I literally haven't. So, for the listeners, Zohaib's a very old friend of Phines and a more new friend for me, but I would call a friend for sure.
For
So,
sure.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I was just watching a video about a lady who murdered her parents. That was really fun.
Who did you say?
Well, actually,
murdered
she
her
didn't murder her
parents?
parents. There was a home invasion, and her friends murdered her parents. But
Oh, is it that one girl?
Jennifer Pan,
Yes, I've seen that.
Dude.
I've seen that.
Wait,
She's
what?
crazy.
She didn't do it, or what happened?
She got her parents told her to move out or something. I don't know. I can't remember, but she asked these people to break in and kill her parents and make it look like it was a home invasion.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
She hired them or whatever.
I think she was dating one of them.
That's what it was.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. I knew the boyfriend was in
That
there
makes it
somewhere.
easier.
Ooh.
It was wild.
Yeah. Was that my sister? No.
I hope not.
Yeah, no, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's new? What's good? I don't know. I don't even know you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Update me.
Sierra, everything is new.
Honestly,
Yeah.
where are you
Well, we
located?
were-
Are you
we
a
were
New
just
York
talking
friend?
about-
I'm in Chicago. I'm in my home.
Chicago gang.
Yeah. Oh, are you in Chicago?
I'm in the area,
Oh, nice.
down low, in the burbs.
Nice. That counts for some people.
Yeah. I didn't want to make this a theme, Brandon, but this is the second producer we got.
Well, okay. Our last guest is a music producer, and I know Zohaib is in love with
I
music, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't call myself a producer because I'm terrible at it, but it is my
Oh.
love for sure. I think
Aw.
I would even say that Phines
Aw.
probably got me started on that track by he was kind of the one who introduced me to hip hop way back in middle school.
Oh wow, fun.
Whoa. I didn't even realize you guys went
That far back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he put me on
Yeah,
Panic
that's
Up
right.
Disco.
and then I got off Panic
I
Up.
chime in with the haven't you people ever
You need to stop
heard
giving me
of?
credit for that shit, bro.
Closing the door. I know you feel so embarrassed about it. I'm like, Panic Up Disco, not bad.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bad group.
They're like Coldplay, and this week I realized I love Coldplay. I couldn't stop listening to Coldplay this week.
They're quality.
And they're good.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody, you know?
See, that's a little bit more embarrassing.
Viva la vida.
No, I guess I actually really like. Yeah, have you seen, Coldplay makes really good music videos too.
I have to look at this.
The Scientist, where he's walking backwards from the car crash.
Yeah, Strawberry Swing, and it's like all made out of chalk.
Fields Forever. Back on topic, Zohaib, two things. We were talking about with the last person what the hardest creative endeavor in their life is, and then also whether you feel like you've woken up and reached the bookend of the pandemic.
Ooh, okay. The first one's a little hard to answer. I feel like my creativity has been stifled by the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, I was like playing the guitar and like, you know, like I tried improv for like the first time and stuff. And like, I think even though I think I'm still essentially in the trying phase of things, but during the pandemic, man, I haven't gotten much creativity flowing. It's been like I've been just like in a little bit of a rut in my home, but I do feel like it's ending. It's been like it's summertime, feels great out here. Walk to the lake, you know. I get to the mask is the big thing for me, you know, not having the mask on outdoors.
Yeah.
Y'all think we in the ass end of the pandemic?
Is that what we're calling it? The ass end.
If you're outdoors, it's good though.
Yeah. CNN News, the ass end of the pandemic.
That's what it feels. It feels like an ass end, not a bookend.
For real. Donkeys.
Y'all think we in the end? Okay.
What was it just? Oh, Bo Burnham. I don't know if you've seen this. He released a 1-hour comedy special on Netflix like this week.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing that he, you know, like it was all in his bedroom and he was able to produce that kind of content. And also at the same time, I'm like, we've talked about this before, but you're sort of working like a really awesome job, you know, but it's like a job, right? It's not maybe the most creative thing. And just like balancing those two things for me is very hard. And I also like I see Bo Burnham, and instead of like doing the good thing of being like, oh, good, awesome for this guy, I'm like,
how are you so talented?
Do this, and I've done shit. Like I blew my nose and went to sleep. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's hard for this shit not to creep into the rest of your life when you're doing it all at home. But like, yeah, I don't know. Also, Bo Burnham is very talented. He I think he directs some Atlanta episodes and stuff. Like, he's got enough cred for me to not.
Donald Glover's?
I think so.
I didn't.
Or
know that.
he directed something. Maybe I could be totally lying right now, but
there were black people.
Yeah, that's what I knew, and that's why I was like that. You know, he must be all right. You know, he got into something that had black people in it. So I was like, all right, he's not Kramer. You know, he's good.
Right.
Yeah. Is Bill Burnham the one that made that? He had a joke where he sang in auto-tune? Like he acted like
Probably.
Kanye.
Yes.
He did the opposite.
He sings a lot.
You know, how Kanye does.
He did the Kanye rant on stage.
But in the opposite way, I thought that was ingenious.
Yeah.
Instead of like it just in singing instead of talking, and it was one of the best jokes I've heard so far in a long time.
It's so good.
Yeah, it was.
Do you
really
guys
nice.
think it's just a talent thing? Like it oozes out of him? Is that?
No.
Do you think it oozes out for anybody? Like, are there people who just ooze talent, or I feel like everyone's working, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Grandpa could answer this, but the ability to do hard work, I feel like, is a talent in and of itself.
I haven't been able to. Oh, sorry.
Well, I think that.
I was gonna say I haven't been able to meet Grandpa. I've heard Brandon talk to Grandpa out the side of his mouth before, but I haven't really gotten to meet Grandpa yet. So I'm excited.
Zohaib, Grandpa Zohaib.
Well, hi Zohaib. Good evening. So you're primarily into music or acting? I'm listening to what's going on, but I'm not fully understanding. Or so, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm mostly into music. I think acting is probably beyond me. But I love the idea of it. I'd like to get behind a camera sometime. I think that would be fun, but I'm mostly into music. I used to produce. Now I've been trying to learn how to play the guitar, but I haven't dedicated enough time to either one to really get anywhere with it. It's just fun for right now.
Do you write? Do you write music? Do you arrange it? Are you a musician? What capacity do you serve in the music field?
When I was producing music, it was like kind of arranging beats and stuff, and sometimes just whatever came out of me. Sometimes it didn't sound like beats, and it was just like I don't know, like electronic sounding or whatever. Then with the guitar, I mostly just play other people's songs, and I think, and I've written lyrics. I've written raps before. I don't know how to write something that I would sing, but I do like to sing. So, I haven't really been like road mapping too much in terms of my artistic progression, but it's all kind of been around me at least.
Right. And what type of genre do you like in music? What
I'm a big hip hop and indie music fan. Those are my two like genres I love the most. I think I'm pretty open to stuff, but I feel like some stuff, like people, I like it when people give an effort. Like, even if it's not apparent, like sometimes there's an effort underlying something, and like as long as someone's like trying something new and like giving an effort, I'm a big fan of that. But mostly those two genres. What about you?
Well, I love pretty much all kinds of music. I pretty much, for me, commercial pops. I even like
Grandpa's a big T Swift fan.
Ooh.
Yeah, commercial pops would be one. But
hey, Grandpa, pull your mic up.
Pretty much all kinds of music, and I like anything from the Boston Pops, Arthur Fiedler, to Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones type music.
Grandpa Bart,
just about all
do
types.
you think that you would enjoy Willow Smith?
Willow Smith.
Will Smith has a daughter, and she's doing a lot of pop punk.
She's doing punk?
I feel like. Yeah, she is now. You didn't hear her single?
No.
She's actually she's on a whole album with a couple people, but she just had a single like last month.
Oh wow.
It's really good.
In Boston Pops is the orchestra. Yeah.
Yes, it's a very old orchestra, for many years ago. But Arthur Fiedler was the conductor for many years, and they do pretty much, American Standard type music. Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry to change the subject. My time with Zohaib's super limited. How do you survive? You work remotely. How do you survive that?
Okay.
Because it is ridiculous. Like, I feel like I'm in, like, my walls just get crazy and I don't leave my house and I start freaking out inside,
So I have a little bit of a schedule that I try to stick to. So it involves me waking up. I brew myself some nettle leaf tea, helps my seasonal allergies. I drink my tea. I sit down at my computer. I check my mail. And then I talk to anybody who I need to talk to. And then the moment that no one needs to fuck with me, am I allowed to curse? Okay. The moment nobody wants to fuck with me, I take a walk. And then I just try to take walks because being in your apartment sucks for long spans of time.
Yeah.
Do you have to clock in and out and all that shit?
No, I just have to appear alive and responding. So I'll have my Slack open and I'll have my laptop on your and then I'll walk away and then people think I'm at work. Gotcha. But I'm not.
Gotcha. You're not. Yeah, no. Yeah. They're gonna listen. You're gonna be on LinkedIn in a week.
yeah. I guess I'm gambling here, right?
But that's what you're saying is actually really cool because That's really all I've been hearing about this like workforce war or whatever they're calling it, where like people don't want to go back and like risk their lives to work for like slave wages and stuff like that. Is that, you know, comparing, or just regular people that like were working from home and like their employers are trying to make them go back to the office, and they're like, I'm not going to do that. Like people are literally quitting because they're like, I don't want to go back to work. And like their productivity, like people are taking breaks like you're doing, like doing walks, things for their wellness and all that stuff. But the productivity is the same, if not higher, because people are actually comfortable and they're not feeling like hassled or stressed or bothered or anything. Like you're totally in your comfort zone. So, you know,
I legitimately believe,
no time for that.
Yeah, I legitimately believe that like we're only really for work, I think we're only really good for like maybe 24 hours a week, and like maybe like 5 hours a day. After that, maybe like I'm slacking, you know. I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my dinner. I'm worried about my bills.
Do laundry.
Yeah.
My wife always uses that terminology, slave wages.
Mm-hmm.
What does slave wages mean to you guys? Like can't.
Well, in her case, she's talking about she feels that people don't make a high enough hourly or weekly salary.
They don't.
To really survive on their own. That's pretty much what
they don't.
What her complaint is.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, people are still wanting, and the fact that people hardly got any relief this whole year, you know, if at all, if you qualified, like, I know I only qualified for one of the three. And like all this stuff is going on, you know, never got any of the benefits like every other normal functioning country, and then not even fully like eradicated, and they're trying to make you go back into the workforce. They want you to just like pretend that nothing has changed essentially, but you know, all the health risks are still there. There's even more stressors than before on the average employee, and they still want you to go back for like what, $625, $750. It's ridiculous.
Totally.
And you guys are all young relative to me, and really a big factor here is health. You take a place like Canada. I have a daughter living in Canada now, and they give them everything as far as health insurance. All the people, you know, have complete health insurance. It's terrible that we live in an industrialized country where we have some of the wealthiest people in the world living here, and we don't provide the health insurance for everyone.
I was talking to somebody about this today. Isn't it true that when you get older, your rates can go up into like the thousands?
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They charge more the older you get.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like being a dangerous driver, and your premiums go
But just
up.
like natural age reasons.
Well, I knew that.
Right. Things you
Yeah,
can't control.
I mean,
Welcome
but-
to womanhood in
I
the
mean,
healthcare system.
I guess it makes, as an insurer, on the insurance side, it makes sense. Like, you know, my premium, if I'm a healthy person, should be really low. But if I'm chronically getting sick and I have to go be in and out, I suppose my premium. I mean, it's all messed up. But it
Ain't
makes
chronically
sense.
So the
getting
trick-
sick like worse
Well-
enough to like I'm already feeling this way.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah,
it
but
makes sense.
You don't
No,
have
I
enough
did- I
problems.
mean, I get
Here,
it.
let me help you.
No, I
Of
mean, it's not
course.
like I don't get it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, if I'm paying for insurance as a person, I would understand it. Why would I would understand the reason why it would get expensive as you get older. It's like getting
I mean, it makes sense if you treat health like stocks as opposed
See, the
to
trick, guys.
RB is treated like what is actually going to take maintenance. Like it's like
The trick here.
yeah, but there's still profit. Huge
Insurance
profit
companies
margin.
hate this one simple trick.
for sure.
Just die.
What is the trick?
Just die.
Or guys, drink nettle leaf tea.
But dying is
Very good for
expensive too. Nettle leaf tea.
And they kind of just want you to die.
allergies.
They
want you
really
to pay
do.
premiums
They
and then
definitely
die.
want you to die.
You should get as sick as you can, then die.
You have to pay for a lot of bills.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who have been affected by the pandemic and maybe got COVID are going to be considered having a risk factor, and their insurance is going to go sky high.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, what's the solution,
Just
Grandpa?
We all
die.
get into insurance.
Well, the tax rate on the wealthiest today is extremely low, and of course the Republicans in the last administration cut down the corporate and individual tax rate. You know, during the Second World War, which was, we were in a very difficult situation, the highest tax rate was 91%. 91, that's $9 out of $10 you had to pay in amounts that were earned over a certain amount. It could have been $200,000 at that time. Now, the corporate tax rate and the individual tax rates are very low. We're building up an enormous deficit right now in this country. It's in over $20 trillion. And the interest rates are probably going to go up because they're trying to keep down inflation. So you have the interest rates going up. So for every 1%, if you owe $20 trillion, that'd be $2 trillion, that'd be $200 billion a year just to pay 1% of interest rate, 1% increase, 200 billion, it's a lot of money. So without raising taxes, it's going to be very, very difficult for this country in time. We're not really feeling the effects of it yet, but it's coming.
People make the argument that it's stupid to raise taxes on the rich because then they'll just move all of their capital they'll find a loophole, But
Just don't write loopholes.
They'll always figure out a way to make money. So I think that they need to be more patriotic and pitch in to help our society where they've done so well, to help our society in general.
We also don't really have like a budget for actually pursuing those. Pursuing like tax issues against rich people. Like the IRS has like slowly gotten less and less funding over the last like several decades. Like it was like Al Capone. They were like, we did it. We're never going to top this. And then they just like stopped giving enough funding to actually like prosecute white collar crimes the way they're supposed to. So like that's the other problem is like they know, like, I mean, it's obvious they know what they're doing. And even if you don't tackle like the Bill Gateses and the Jeff Bezoses like of America, there's plenty of wealthy people that aren't gonna like move to Guatemala or migrate to Spain, like people who have roots in the community, just like every other poor person that, the IRS, fights tooth and nail to tax.
Nobody makes the same argument about stealing a candy bar from a fucking convenience
right
store.
Like I'll just go to another store. Like no.
Yeah.
Jail.
When I was a teenager back in the mid-50s, the three
18.
richest people in the United States were worth about $1 billion each. Now, $1 billion then is like $15 billion today in terms of, the depreciation of the value of a dollar. So $15 billion. We have people today, a guy like Bezos is worth $150 billion. He's worth 10 times that. So the wealthy have gotten much wealthier and the tax rate's gone down, and no one seems to be too concerned about the precarious position that it's putting the United States in.
Wait, Grandpa, this is with inflation? It's still 10 times the amount of wealth?
Yes, because what I said is that in those days, I'm talking about Howard Hughes, J. Paul Getty, were worth approximately $1 billion. Today, that $1 billion today might be worth 15 because the depreciation of the value of a dollar might be worth 15 billion. But there's people that are worth today as much as $150 billion. In fact, Bezos would be worth a lot more than that because he gave a lot of it to his wife or Bill Gates or, other people. So the wealthy are doing fine. It's a relative issue. The bottom line is that the tax rate for the wealthiest people and corporations is very, very low today, and they should have raised it rather than lowered it to help decrease the deficit of the United States.
But why and how is that amount of wealth able to be amassed today, but not in the past? How is it so
I think
much
it's
more?
just like a consumerism.
It's a little bit misleading because my understanding is that Rockefeller, who really was only worth about $1 billion, but he controlled more of the assets of the United States than anyone does today, even though they have, on paper, they have far more money. So, but how are they able to amass that kind of money? They've had great ideas and able to do a lot of business, tremendous amount of business. It used to be that the oil companies were the richest and they've
gotten better at
banking and insurance companies were the richest. And today it's people that are high tech people that have good ideas and have made them work, like Amazon or Google or those companies. They've gotten better at abusing employees, and I feel like there's also more, because of globalization, there's better access to those cheap raw materials, that cheap labor from different parts of the world. That's where it comes down to, I think. Because there's no way, there's like almost how many of us don't go to shop at Walmart or Target to get a good price from items made by cheap labor? That's the problem.
Hey, Zohaib, can you refresh the page? I'm getting an error.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Phines, how is it having Zohaib on?
It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zohaib, how is it being on the podcast?
It's great, man. I thought we were going to get into some silly shit, and it turns out we got into how we fix the healthcare system.
You got the luck of the draw.
Yeah. It's 99% silly shit, 1% Zohaib. So.
Right. I did have a question, though. It is a silly question, but it's slightly related to what we were just talking about, and I just remembered it from. Please. It's a hypothetical, okay? So Bezos recently split from his wife. Bill Gates recently split from his wife. Would you rather be a billionaire's wife, let's say $10 billion, a billionaire's wife for 30 years, or husband for 30 years, or would you rather be a millionaire's wife or husband for 5 years?
Like, is it like would it be like if my regular husband was, rich, or would it be like just a stranger?
He'd be he'd be kind of like a scumbag. You're really in it for the money.
I'd say millionaire, because I don't believe there's an ethical billionaire. That guy's probably crazy and scary.
Nice. That's a good answer. I was thinking of it more in terms of 30 years is a lot of time. No,
that guy's probably got that billionaire's probably got like some crazy wine cellar kneecap collection in the basement. I don't even want to be a part of it.
And mistresses.
If you dip out before 30 years, you don't get anything.
Yeah, it's like a prenup that expires in 30 years.
No.
But also, what's a kneecap wine cellar? Is it wine stored in kneecaps?
I was just thinking the same basement, and part of it is dedicated to the wine and the other part is just tasteful kneecap. Does interior design. Something he spent a lot of time on, which is all the red flags. So I'm just take my millionaire and go home.
It's a good time.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be with someone that I wasn't happy with for any period of time. So less time is better. Although that's $500K for 5 years. I mean, that's decent paycheck.
That'll work out.
Yeah,
we take those.
Finest, Grandpa.
What's that?
Yeah, which one?
What's what, Grandpa?
Well, I lost you. What
do you want, the billionaire or the millionaire?
Well, you want to know whether it's better to be with somebody for a longer period of time and with more money, or a shorter period of time with.
You're the only one here who's lived for 30 years. So how about you tell us?
Really? What my opinion is?
No, your facts. Yeah, your opinion.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be with someone that didn't love me, or I didn't love them. I'd want to be with somebody. Money is not everything. You need a certain amount to have a decent life, but beyond that, it really doesn't. It doesn't bring you everything. I know people that have a lot of money and they had difficult lives. Mm-hmm. So not everything is about money. It's important, but it's not everything.
You're right.
It was a trick question. That's the right answer. You guys failed. Sierra, Brennan, you suck.
Fine, didn't even answer the question. I don't.
What's the okay? So, which one's giving me more money?
The 30 years for essentially $5 billion. You get $5 billion.
Oh no, I'll take the other one. What's the short amount of time? How much do I get?
5 years, you get 500,000.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
take that,
fine.
yeah.
That's plenty.
Yeah, but if you get
That's like school.
I can still have a lot of fun. I'm sure the person that I'm getting $500,000 from, they also live in a big house that gives me space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm gonna sleep in a whole different wing of the house. I'm gonna be like Will and Jada and just mind my business over here.
I'll be able to be my image of the person they want me to be for like 2 to 3 hours a day, and then for most of the other day, I'll be on the other side of the
Post
building,
for the gram and
figuring out what I'm gonna do with my $500,000. Yeah,
that's a good work week right there.
I think if honestly, knowing me, I'd talk the person into like getting ready, like, hey, we're gonna be in it in 5 years. I want you to be okay with this because I'm getting 500 out. I'm getting 500 out of this. Maybe we can go on trips as friends later.
We're gonna go to Gloria Jean's on Wednesdays and just hang out.
You're paying though.
Yeah.
See, I'd choose the billionaire just because that is world-changing wealth. You know, you get $5 billion.
Die at 50. You could die at 50.
I could die at 50. Why would I? Oh, like before it's up. That's good.
Not with that billionaire money. You're gonna have the best healthcare in the world. You're gonna get that presidential antibody cocktail.
Bathe in that baby blood.
Yes, exactly.
Cryogenically freeze me for 29.
Yeah, nah, you gonna make it. You gonna make it.
Yeah. Speaking of insurance premiums, I bet theirs be a lot less too because you'll have some.
They'll be like, "You're not gonna die, sir. Relax.
You're not gonna die. Your
I'm your
cheap as
doctor.
hell.
Sit down.
How old are you? You don't look over.
Just give me $20 and go to sleep."
Also, like, do you get to enjoy that money from your 20s to 50s? Oh, you do.
Yeah, I mean, you're with them, you know.
You're living in the East Wing.
Good.
Grandpa, what are the best decades of your life? Is it the 20s, 30s?
The best decades. Well, I think I'm enjoying life now, but
oh no, I
would
wait
say
so
when
long to be happy.
I would say when you're young and you have, you're at the top of your physical condition, from your teenage years up through, I'd say 30, 35, you're in your top physical condition. So that's a lot in life. But just to be able to be with someone that you enjoy being with and doesn't give you a lot of aggravation is a lot in life. That's probably as important as a lot of money. Just to have someone in your life.
That's why everybody's on Tinder, though. It's so hard to meet that person. Yeah.
The person is right there in the mirror. It's yourself.
You could have a lot of money and have a lot of problems from other people, So
yeah. So you think finding a partner is what leads you to happiness?
I think that's probably one of the most important things. Yeah, to have a good mate to spend your life with. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So you would relive your 70s and 80s.
Pardon? Yeah.
You would relive your 70s and 80s.
No, not necessarily. I mean, what your life is, that's what it is. You have a relatively, when you're young, it doesn't seem that way, but you have a relatively short time in this reality, worldly reality, and so you might as well enjoy as much as you're able to, and
he wants to make other people happy when his body's really able.
He's like, relive them.
He's like, I don't know about the 70s.
I don't know about those 70s, but 30 to 35. Fuck.
Never got married. Agreed.
Yeah.
You bah humbugged real quick on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Call me a Scrooge, but I don't know. I don't know if a person has got to be on my top list to be the reason would make me happy, but.
A combination of things. That's one of the things. Obviously, you're enjoying what you do in life as a profession or to make a living. That's another issue, and there's a lot of different things. But I think being with someone that comforts you and helps you to enjoy life, that's and doesn't give you a lot of problems or aggravation. That's a lot in life.
I mean, you know better than me, so I was just making a young assumption.
Well, you'll make somebody happy, Phines. I'm sure you will.
Or not. You got yourself
all of our
too.
Listeners. Yeah. They say that youth is wasted on the young, but every day I wake up, I'm like, fuck, stop, we're good. Like, I appreciate this now. Yeah. I'm starting to look old, Grandpa.
No, you still look like a young guy. What about you, Sierra? How do you feel about that? The money versus a companion.
It's very important to have, like, if not a companion, if not like a significant other in that way, like you have to have some kind of social interaction that like makes you happy and makes you feel validated. Otherwise you're gonna go insane, which is all that happened last year. But as a professional broke person, the financial stability is essential. It's essential. Because like even last year, like even this year now, like you're stuck at home. Like the only thing that could stress you out more than being stuck at home in a pandemic is being stuck at home in a pandemic, no job, or can't pay your rent, or now like my cousin just got off the ventilator and now we have all these like extra apparatuses and things that she's got to have so she can, you know, those kind of things are stressful. I don't even have any babies. Like I can't imagine, you know.
You know what?
Yeah.
Sorry. I've been thinking about the whole thing that Z said. And you're right, Sierra, and you're right, Z. I need to be thinking about wealth and the generational wealth.
No, you do.
I changed my mind. I'm gonna sacrifice those 30 years for my future and my family and my family's family.
Yes, your progeny.
You do that stuff so you don't got to do nothing else when you are 50, 60, 70, 80.
Mm-hmm.
That make your own insurance. Get that get that 500K.
You could insure so many people with
That's
that
what I'm saying. Become a loan shark. Insure everyone.
You're right.
Something.
We won't even need money. I'll put it all into Doge.
Doge is huge.
Dogecoin?
Fucking crypto.
Doge worth hundreds. Yeah, that shit's depressing that I don't even want to talk about.
Well, I think that if you have nothing to do when you're old, life is not that great. It would be boring if you don't have motivation.
That's why I'm saying you got to figure out some kind of balance of like socialization, right. But that's my second priority.
Yeah. Whether it's a friend or a companion, right?
Right. Or even if you're like just online, like some people really like being just online, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
How much, speaking of like money and happiness, how much like money would you have to be able to be like, let's say you had a recurring monthly income of like $3,000. How much money would you have to be offered on top of that to like not just not have a job? Like you get like that permanent income, it keeps you fed and keeps a house over your head. Do you still go to a job? Do you even care to do any of that?
Yeah, you don't even want to know how embarrassing little I need. I've already wrote this down on a list. What I'm like, all I need.
Think of that number plus like, you know, like whatever is like comfortable enough, you know.
If someone was giving me, seriously, I'm pretty dead ass with this too. If someone was giving me about $27,000 to $32,000 a year, I wouldn't care. I would be completely happy. That's enough to feed me and pay rent and then go on vacation every year.
Probably figure that out.
That's not a lot, Phines. That's
I know. I make that much money now, working hourly, and I'm living.
That's not. Yeah, but you're young, single. You don't have children.
You're not thinking ahead of those insurance premiums, bro.
You can keep the children.
You really need about $75,000 to $100,000 a year to really, have a normal, very nice.
That would probably be my number. Yeah. Like 80, maybe 80K would be great. I would want enough money where I could like be super comfortable, and I could even be like I want enough money to like help somebody out like on a consistent basis. Not like I would necessarily, but just knowing that I could.
Okay, how about this? Then, for argument's sakes, y'all greedy. No, I'm just joking. But think if we all got 27,000 instead of 80,000, we don't even have to help each other. We all would have money.
That's
wow,
true.
It's almost like we should have like universal basic income or something. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Andrew,
that's my idea. I got that.
A lot depends on where you live, too. If you live in New York City, you need a lot more, and if you live out in the country, you don't need so much. Or if you have a lot of children, it all depends on your circumstances.
Very true.
Yeah. They hurt the environment anyway. It's okay.
The children.
Grandpa, do you know how few people our age own houses compared to your generation.
I don't know what the statistics are on that.
It's about 0.
There's no one.
I haven't seen a house since I was
born. You've heard that George Carlin joke about like all houses are just to keep our shit. This is like this is our shit with the roof on it. We don't need to just give us less money, have us less shit. We'll be okay.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't know. Here's the thing: is once you get that universal basic income, right? You're not working. You wake up. How do you feel fulfilled, Phines?
Some people
every single day.
I don't agree with that at all either. I think that humans are purpose making. That's what we do. That's why we even have jobs now and have anything. It's because somebody wanted a purpose at one point and they started making a community and blah 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 blah. Now we're here. I guarantee you, if it was just income, there will be people that will be like me that draw all day. There will be people that make jokes all day. There will be people that would go hang around and just talk to people. There will be someone that makes boats because that's what they want to do. I'm sure we would communicate and be teams. I don't know if it'd be as much innovation and as much like stuff moving as fast, but I mean, who says we need that? I've seen a squirrel live okay.
I'd finally be fit.
Right?
Finally.
Like we shouldn't like it kind of.
But would you? Would
yes.
you? Here's my thing. Not about the fitness, but I always have like the creative endeavors are like everything to me, right? Like it's all I want, all I think about, and I see Bo Burnham. We were just talking about this, doing the special and being like, how the fuck in the March 2020 did he produce that work, right? And you said talent or whatever, but it's like I don't know. So like one of my favorite writers said, like, it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. Like, no matter what, you'll get that content out. Like, you'll create if it's in your path. Like, if you need to, and like sometimes I have a ton of time. Sometimes right now it's very, very difficult. But I'm like, man, I can't do this because of this. But I think like I worry like, oh, even if that wasn't a problem or getting in my way time wise, like maybe I wouldn't write those jokes. Maybe I wouldn't go to that open mic. Maybe I wouldn't perform this thing. But
at least you have the option though. Like at least with income, you have the option to or to not. Like I still think you're right. In if everyone's getting income, there will be people, probably still the majority of people that don't do anything. But that's the privilege. That's the privilege of living in a society where we don't have to have. There is so much money and there's so much we have already like done in this society to make it. We don't. There's 1% don't like the 1% gave their money to us. We wouldn't have to work. So that's a privilege of how good humans are. I think that if some of us don't work, it's okay. Like get over it. Like if we all can survive, if someone's gonna sit there and scratch their butt their whole entire life, that's really on them. I bet they'll be pretty depressed compared to someone that actually did something, even if they got paid or not.
Right.
That's my opinion.
It kind of reminds me of like what people were saying before states started to legalize marijuana. It was like, oh, if weed is legal, then everyone's just gonna stop working and they're just gonna smoke it all day and no one's gonna get anything done and they're gonna destroy their brains. And it's like, well, no. The same people that, like, if you want to smoke weed, you're going to smoke weed. Like, if you're going to engage in that, you're going to do that. This is just making it so that you don't have to go to, like, federal prison anymore, right? Like, the same people that really wanted, people that maybe wanted to try it but didn't want to go to prison, they might try it, they might do it. But, even again, back to what I was saying, like, weed is legal in a lot of places, but productivity overall in the workforce is, like, even gotten better. So it's like I agree with Phines. Like, it's not going to destroy people. It may force some people to rethink things, but I don't think it's gonna keep people from working. Those same people that never really worked and don't contribute anything, but we're getting what do you call it, like their living is paid for or whatever. Someone's either their
stimulus on it
or just mooching off of like your family or your neighbors. Those kinds of people are still going to do that. That's not going to change.
Yeah. And
like, I agree with you too, Brandon. Like, I also have that feeling where I'm like, man, if I wasn't so busy with this, or if I didn't have work, I could be doing ABCG, but I don't even think that's so much of a work thing. I think part of it is like a stress thing for me, at least. Like when you have all kinds of like outside forces and stresses in your life, they'll weigh you down from doing anything productive or anything that you really enjoy doing.
Yeah. Have you guys ever played The Sims?
No, I haven't, but I
Grandpa?
kind of
know
want
you
to.
have.
Played the what?
Yes.
I'm joking. There's this game called The Sims, which it's a video game, but instead of like an actual video game, you just like live a life as a person like you would in real life, but it's a video game. And that game to me is hyper depressing because I realize like I am literally just that Sims character, because people are like, well, you have 2 hours after work in the afternoon to work on creative stuff. But in the Sims game, like my entertainment bar, like you have different bars that you have to satisfy or you die. My entertainment bar, my relaxation bar, my like mental recharge bar, sleep bar, they're all too low by the end of the day, where I get to that 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my free time. This is where I'm going to actually fucking get my dreams done. I get to that point. Maybe it's fucking laziness.
Are all those meters really in the game?
Those bars are empty, and I just need to recharge and fucking turn my brain off and sit on YouTube and waste my time. And then I wake up the next day, I'm like, I didn't do any of the shit I wanted to do. You know?
Are all those meters really in the game? Like wellness, all of them?
Great, yeah.
That's a great example. Like that's what I'm saying. Like all those things like in your brain have to be like somewhat satisfied for you to say, okay, I feel good about like all my responsibilities, and now I have to focus on me and do something that I enjoy. That's really difficult for a lot of people. So like, don't feel bad about that. Yeah. Like it is difficult. It is difficult. You know, our world sucks. There's a lot of things going on that can weigh on your mind, like on a greater sphere, on a smaller sphere, and like, or both. And that's worse, you know?
Yeah.
You got to find a balance.
For me,
like Zohaib was saying, find that balance of like, you know, go outside. Like my doctor told me to like go outside in the morning, so I get like that natural recharge of like getting the sunlight on my face and everything. Like do some of those good wellness things. We're actually almost out of time too. So last questions.
Did Michael never
he's waiting.
Or
so
Jamia? Oh, okay. Got you.
Go ahead. See you. Last thing you want to say?
I was gonna say, for me, The Sims, like, it is depressing, but not because it's similar to me, because it's like the opposite of me. Because like, I have all these goals in The Sims that I want to get. I want to make all this money. I want to find this girl. I want to like shack up, all that stuff. And like, my Sim is so dedicated, he'll like read a book on cooking until he pees his pants. I'll like read a book for like 5 minutes. I'll quit.
Oh no.
And like, I find this. I don't know if you remember, like one of the first girls I had a big crush on, Umara, in middle school. I made her in The Sims, and I married her in The Sims and had her babies. Actually, she had my babies. And you know, like, it's just another testament to being like, man, like, if I was like all this, and if I had all this time and I dedicated all this, I could do that. But I'm never gonna do. I never had that level of dedication.
Yeah. Oh, and my last comment about, well, not last comment. I can talk about the whole society thing for days. But also for people that don't do anything, that are like in this, if we're in a society that some people are just sitting around doing nothing and some people are doing things, all I gotta say is just stop hating. Let them people just be by themselves. If they don't have to do any work, it's okay. What's it bothering you besides you just being upset that they're not working and you are?
But some of us hate ourselves, Phines.
Yeah, that's fine, but you don't gotta hate other people.
Keep it in here. keep it to yourself. Keep all the hate to yourself. Okay.
Yeah, anybody.
What'd you say, Grandpa?
Live and let live.
Yeah, let them. Yeah, let people that are struggling, that don't have a job or whatever, just don't even think about it. Okay, just leave them alone.
Okay, we do have to go though. We're like super behind.
Yeah. Hey, I'm staying until at least 8:40. We have fucked Michael Lake over on time many times on the show, so let's give him his full 30.
Are you trying to tell us? What are you trying to say?
Like I'm.
He said,
staying,
"I'm gonna be there.
I'm
I don't know
doing
about y'all,
minutes.
but I'm gonna be there for Michael."
Okay.
I'm here for Michael.
I'm glad you're trying to put the ultimatum. I'm leaving his ass at 8:30.
No.
Just because you said that shit to me. What?
Brandon, you may be the only host.
Okay, but we did it. Okay, but we did it. Have to go. Okay. Thank you so much, Zohaib. It was wonderful to meet you.
Thanks for having
This
me.
is amazing.
Nice meeting you,
This
Zohaib.
is so real.
Yeah, that was great. Nice meeting you, Grandpa. Nice meeting you, Sarah.
Have a good night.
Nice meeting you
Thanks.
too.
Everybody. All right,
Good
bye.
evening.
Good job.
Stay safe.
All right. Moment of the high.
Here we go.
Hey, Michael.
The program's working. We're all here. Michael looks beautiful on camera.
Full head of
We're here for
hair.
you, sir.
All that hair, yeah.
Oh God, so good.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes. How are
We
you
hear
doing?
great.
Yes.
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
Great.
Good.
So listen.
Hey, we hear you released and were the lead of a film, sir.
That is correct. This weekend was the release of Edwin. We'd had a couple kind of preview kind of festival screenings, but we had a bit of a public, limited time, but pretty public because it was our first kind of free screening. But we did release Edwin this weekend.
Yeah, so exciting.
Was it a release party and all that? How was it? Was it all like maskless? What happened?
We we had a bit of a virtual ceremony back in March. It was still virtual. We not too much is open where I am. But then this festival in Paris, France, picked up the film, like it was one of our submissions, and they had a free screening of it for it was available on their platform for a couple days. So that was really the most people that have watched it so far. It was available for free, so that was the link everyone gravitated to, and we got it was, things were still kind of limited by COVID. We couldn't have a proper screening or anything like that, but I think that really this past weekend marked this sort of official watch party of it all. It was the most people.
How many did you get?
Yeah. I don't know the exact statistics, but I'm just speaking from my personal perspective of posting it online and getting reactions back and stuff.
Yeah.
It was pretty overwhelming.
That's so exciting.
So,
yeah.
So, Michael, if I wanted to watch it, is it available to be watched now?
Yes. The festival that I'm talking about actually just ended yesterday, but it is on another platform until June 15th. Giving a shout out to the American Golden.
Is it on YouTube, or how would somebody like myself watch it?
The American Golden
Edwin.
The American Golden Pictures Festival in Jacksonville, Florida is where it's being hosted right now. So they have a website, and you can hop on there. There's virtual tickets available, not just for our film, but for about 20 other films. And that's.
I'm sorry to be asking this,
Sure.
but are you getting? Do you get this, or who is this? The website getting the money, or you're getting money? Are your crew? If I buy a ticket,
the festival is it gets that ticket admission.
Oh, can I just Venmo?
Right.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, to our listeners who haven't heard you on a previous episode,
Sure.
Do you mind telling a little bit about yourself and then how you got involved with this particular film?
Sure, sounds good. So my name is Michael Lake. I am a Toronto-based actor. I work closely with a company called Hologround Pictures, which produces primarily horror and thriller type films. We have a film that's available on Amazon Prime for rental called Days of Violence. We have a film that's available to stream on YouTube called Playing Cards. But the way that this particular project, Edwin, came about was, what's that saying? Necessity is the mother of invention. Me and my good friend Stuart, we had worked on this previous film, Days of Violence, where I was kind of like the co-lead, the supporting lead. And he saw me. We had worked together closely for over a year on this one project. He saw me do another project, and he was just like, you were a completely different guy. I didn't even you're a completely different character than you were in my film. I'd never even thought about this before, but do you have any inclination to read this other script that I've written? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And we'd already worked together, so there's no hesitation or anything. We knew it was going to be a good time, but he gave me this beautiful, disturbing, crazy ass script called Edwin. And it's the story of Edwin himself as a screenwriter, and he's struggling with writer's block, and he's struggling with, he's having nightmares and hallucinations and all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's basically the story of Edwin unpacking his own life. There's a kind of dark mystery going on behind the scenes that he's learning about as the viewer learns about it. which is something I loved in the script. And yeah, that's really the story. I read it in one sitting. I told my friend that I really wanted to make it, so I helped him produce it. I took on some more roles than I usually do as an actor just because I was so adamant on getting it done. Like, I kind of helped with some of the casting and the logistics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We filmed it in an apartment where the notice had already been given. So we had 1 month to film this thing with no chance of a reshoot.
Oh, wow.
Because it was an independent film, a lot of people had other commitments or jobs going on or what have you. So we mostly relegated ours to the kind of extracurricular hours anyways. It was like evenings and weekends primarily. But we shot it and we finished it throughout the month of August and like kind of finished around Labor Day maybe. And yeah, it was the best time I've ever had.
That's so exciting. We watched the trailer and I was like mad that I missed the freaking premiere, but like they caught us bad right in the middle of the freaking holiday because we had a Memorial Day.
Of course.
We had our 3-day weekend this week. So but I love the trailer. It was so cool. But I was just wondering, okay, so the was it the BIFF, the French festival?
Beyond the Curve International Film Festival, yeah. So BC. Like, sorry.
No, I was just wondering if you might have said this already and I blacked out. But how could you just talk about how you ended up getting into the French festival?
Sure.
Because I would have never thought of that. That's really cool.
Yeah, shortly after the film was completed, we started submitting it to festivals. There's kind of this big database of film festivals.
Yeah.
Called Film Freeway.
Yeah. And,
you know, obviously this year was the strangest year in the history of film festivals because they were all online or very socially distanced or whatever. But there's an insane amount of film festivals in the world. They range from, you know, indie to world-renowned. There's probably at least 100 in the city I live in alone that happen per year.
Yeah,
that's not even mildly an exaggeration. Like, it's just impossible to narrow down every single festival. What Film Freeway actually offers as a courtesy, I feel like I'm doing like a sponsored ad for them or something, but they you can sign up for this service where the festival actually reviews your work and they ask you to submit to it.
Oh, really?
So we invested, it's not very expensive, but we invested a little bit and like we started getting invitations to the festival.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, you'll get in. It's never exactly a sure thing, but it is kind of a more encouraging way to kind of whittle down your options.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then we would just kind of look up, you know, keywords, buzzwords, things to do with horror, mystery, things to do like Toronto local festivals in LA, New York, big film towns. My partner's in the UK, so we looked up a bunch that were local to him. Yeah, it was honestly like the journey really just began when the film ended. We were just seeking out what to do with it next. Yeah. It's sort of got like shades of an art house film. It's very experimental. David Lynch is a big influence on it. So like we were always looking for a place that might appreciate that before we went more traditional routes. We were always like, this is a festival film. Like, we want this to be seen by people who are objectively judging the film on its own merits, saying like, this is something I want to watch, and who would be willing to help us share it with an audience of like-minded people. 2020, 2021 was a weird year for that, but we got into some like amazing festivals. We got some incredible feedback from like programmers from like all over the place. And this French festival, Beyond the Curve International Film Festival, she just sent us a very nice note one day, and we just sort of signed up, and we were selected as like one of 20 films for the month of May. It's a monthly or bi-monthly festival, so there's lots of opportunities if folks are interested in submitting their own work. But yeah, it's just surreal to me that it was like this indie project that we shot over the course of like a month is just like getting like these screenings in Europe and stuff like that. Like it's incredible.
I love it.
Yeah.
Edwin, what is the length of Edwin?
It's a feature film.
Michael,
it's 80 minutes long. Yeah.
It was. Sorry, I was went down a rabbit hole looking up art house.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow. I'm interested. Sounds cool.
Without.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go, Sierra.
No, you go.
And Michael, you played the part of a person who kind of wasn't able to produce anything. He was having kind of freeze up with him being able to be creative.
Yeah. He's Edwin, the titular character. He himself is a screenwriter, and I don't know. I guess part of the reason it resonated with some film people is that it's like a horror movie that kind of acts as a metaphor for the creative process. It's like, he's playing someone who's really, really struggling to get things done, which is, it can happen. Inspiration only strikes on the weirdest times.
I know you couldn't hear our last conversation, but that was literally the crux of what we were talking about before, is how a creative person with we were talking about The Sims. I don't know if you've ever played it before, right? This video game that sort of simulates a person, but there's all these meters that you have to go through, and being able to fill up all those meters.
You
right?
gotta
entertainment, love, work,
the
right?
little colored bars. Yeah, I remember that.
And then still get done your dreams and the things that you want. Like it feels shockingly real.
Yeah.
And I don't know the solution to that. I mean, maybe your film is a good commentary on how maybe it's impossible, but
Yeah, for creative people, it's always a bit of an uphill battle, because you're wrestling with the outside forces that control things you want to do in the industry. You're wrestling with your own kind of self-doubt or self-loathing. It's really it can take a lot out of you to be an artist sometimes.
Yeah, for you as an actor, for example, the scene where you have blood on your face and you're running out of the cabin door, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you, with a makeup artist who has to keep reapplying the blood, and a DP who's trying to frame the shot and lighting people, everything like that, how do you stay in that moment and be able to actually produce work that you feel satisfied with while all that's going on?
It's funny you say that. That particular shot in question was done in such a specific way that it was kind of unlike how most film shots would go, I'd say. Okay. I guess it's not a spoiler because it's right there in the trailer, but that shot of me running from the lake directly into the cabin was one kind of continuous shot, and the cabin itself didn't have any electricity or anything, so it was just this dark kind of weird little room. We only had 4 people, a grand total of 4 people on set that day. Myself, the actress Teresa Lee playing my girlfriend, the director, and one PA, production assistant. So there was no hair, makeup, anything that day. So the blood application was entirely my own doing. It had to, it didn't have to look perfect, which was good because I could not do it perfectly. But in the amount of time that it would take me to run, bloody myself up, and then run back outside. So literally that shot that you're seeing in that trailer, which is basically the one everyone talks about, was just a complete leap of faith. This has to just look good. You're going to be all bloody after, so we can't really do it again. So we just sort of timed it out perfectly. I ran into this weird little room and could not see anything, just dumped blood, doused myself in blood, and just ran back out. Now, to your point, to your question, when things are kind of fun and crazy and chaotic like that, I feel like it is pretty easy to stay in character. You only have a chance to do it, or a limited amount of time to do it. So everyone's just laser focused, and you're there with the priority of getting it done. I have been on other films and bigger sets and stuff like that when what you're talking about comes into play. You've got to do many more takes. You've got to do a dozen takes. You've got to do the reset for this, the reset for that, blah blah blah. I'm honestly just so zen about the whole process of filmmaking. I know that it's going to take a while. I know that we're going to be here 10, 12 hours. So I literally just like find a place inside myself to just let the time pass over me, sort of.
Michael, on a shoot like this,
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how many cameramen do you have? How many lighting men? I'm just curious how it's
Sure.
the functionality of making the film.
This particular film was like very skeleton crew, like very small. We would rarely have more than 2 cameras at a time. We had some people who kind of took on multiple roles to kind of help things go a little smoother. They would help with lighting as well as XYZ. Audio was a big part of the film, so we had people, recording sound, and occasionally amount of helpers. But like the Edwin crew was very, very small as far as film crews go. It was only a dozen people or so, like at most, if that. I've been on bigger productions like that have.
So
yeah.
how does that get financed? It still costs money to film something like that, obviously.
Yeah.
How does it get financed? I'm just curious.
This was the definition of a passion project. Me and the director, we just sort of put our own faith. We budgeted a little bit of money from our jobs and our savings and stuff, and like we just sort of made this one happen. We've over the course of our time working on other projects, we've been fortunate enough to kind of like make a little money or accumulate like some other resources that we could kind of use and stuff. And we forged some connections, some people who are willing to come on and help us for cheaper. But this one in particular was fueled just by us, basically.
I remember there was a film done that I thought was very amateurish, but called something like Blair Witchcraft or something like that, and it ended up making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Blair Witch
I don't know if I
Project.
have the right name.
That's
Blair. Yeah. Now that's very unusual for a film like that to make money, isn't it? So, what are your hopes for the film? Let me put it that way. What is your hope or intention? I mean, just being able to do this work must give you a lot of enjoyment. But from a financial point of view,
Yeah, absolutely. The next couple months or so, we're waiting on a few more festival announcements. We're waiting for it to kind of show in a few more different places. We're hoping as more people get vaccinated, we can have some more live events, which would be fantastic. But the ultimate end game for this film is some sort of digital distribution, some sort of proper platform for it. There's actually a big part of why we submit to some particular festivals is kind of the end game for some of their festivals. Like there are some festivals where distributors actually kind of seek them out and sort of scout talent and films and stuff like that to sign them particularly. Mm-hmm. There's some avenues where you can kind of approach them, like whether it's like a platform like Amazon or like a more kind of like indie niche one. There's like a few that actually solicit your submissions. Mm-hmm. So we've had those conversations too, but then there are some that we we just want to kind of find the right home for the film so they can take care of the distributing and promoting it and whatnot.
Did you say that you wrote the script?
No, I cannot claim credit for this brilliant script. The movie was written by my friend Stuart G. Robertson. He wrote it, and I was impressed by it, incredibly impressed by it. So all the credit goes to him.
This is a question I'm happy I'm getting to ask you. I wish I would have asked the rest of the artists, but
yeah.
I was recently learning, especially because of the roles that you play and the world that you're in. I was learning about the flow state for artists, and like when you're in that flow, like when you just are like lost and you just in it. How do you do that with blood all over your face? Or like how do you tap in? How do you, especially for the roles that you play, how do you tap into that? Like, or do you just like, is it like something unexplainable? I get. Well, I'll let you do your thing.
Yeah, like a good text, good script makes all the difference to me. If the words are written naturally and it feels like something you can believably present, like that makes a huge difference to me. And that's usually something.
Do you?
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just gonna ask, do you commonly go into flow state? Do you think it's something that happens to you often, or something that you notice every now and then?
Oh, I see what you mean. So yeah, I do like that method, but my kind of more particular thing that I find myself doing is I don't really think about my own life too much when I'm acting. I kind of think about this character and their life and like what's happening would be affecting them and how. It's very, very strange. Like I try not to even be Michael at all. I try to think more about this context. And yeah, that's usually how it goes for me.
You talked about how when you had blood all over your face, that particular shot was easy for you, right? Yeah. And you find this Zen. I don't know if you've heard or read Zen and the Art of Archery. It's a really, really good book. But
right.
The times that it's harder, I mean, how do you? The shot goes on without you, right? So how do you even force yourself into that place?
It's really just like meditative to me at a certain point. Like I have to just focus on one thing and just be very, very present. I am a giggler. I'll fully cop to that. So if something happens or something screws up, like I know the take will will be a loss. So I just have to try really, really hard to stay connected to what's happening. And it's film. It's incredibly rare that you ever do it just one time. So sometimes it can become easier when you do it again and again. But yeah.
Have you ever just not gotten there?
Oh, I'm sure that I've done some stuff when I was like a bit younger that I'm not particularly proud of. I'm sure there's some roles that if I were to look at it now, I would just think I was completely not connected or not in the moment or whatever.
Michael, can you act out one line of it?
Sure. Yeah.
For us?
Let me think of some good Edwin lines. Really? What am I supposed to say to that? Thank you. You have a family? I don't care. Because you don't anymore. You're not real. You're in my head. Get used to it.
Fuck yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm still like, what? That was great.
Yeah. Grandpa Bart, you told me that you fixed the light bulb.
Yeah, bro. Grandpa, you look like a demon. Straight from hell.
You lied to me.
Hey, Michael, that was amazing.
Wonderful.
Thank you for doing that.
Very good.
Yeah,
it's funny. I had to think of a particular moment. There's not too many. The film is so dialogue driven that I was trying to think of like moments where he's just talking to himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it fun at least? Did you have fun?
Oh, absolutely. Like that summer that we filmed it, I look upon it as like the most fun I've ever had on a film set. Because there were times where it was super intense and the subject matter was super heavy or whatnot, but at the end of the day, like we just were such fast friends. We everyone got along super well. Our breaks were super chill, super fun. We got to spend a little bit of time up north at a cottage to get that scene. And I am a strong proponent of films being fun for people. They can be intense. You can put in the work. You can do all this time preparing, but it's like you really should take some fun away from it. Yeah.
People don't realize, I think, how hard it is, how wearing it is, how just deep in your core it is to get to those places where you can even be on a set or just like do the thing that you love to do. Mm-hmm. But then once you get there, some of the time it just feels so fucking enjoyable and good, where it's like you look on it so fondly you can't even believe you get to do that for a day, so
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, I enjoyed talking with you and listening to your lines. I am going to have to cut out now, guys.
Yeah, no. We're getting towards the end. I'd love last thoughts from everybody. Let's start with Grandpa, so he can go back to his demon hell. If you're watching on the video,
my bird is getting anxious.
Well, she can't see.
Get me out of
She's
here,
scared.
biting on me and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed this evening. I enjoyed the podcast this evening. That's all I can tell you. I thought that it was very interesting. All of the guests.
You're getting handsomer every day, Grandpa.
Oh, thank you.
Michael, what are your last thoughts?
Shout out to Grandpa and Chill for having me on again. I think I've been on 4 or 5 times now. It's always my favorite place to come back. I always feel at home with you guys. Edwin is streaming at the American Golden Picture Festival now until June 15th. You can follow us on Instagram at Hologround Pictures, and the link is going to be there for you. Thank you.
You have any personal links?
I do have a personal Instagram as well, at the Michael Lake.
Great, and we'll share that in the show notes for sure. We're so grateful for you, Michael. Phines, last thoughts.
I'm so proud of you, Michael, and I'm looking forward to just seeing more of your work and just seeing just more of your creative stuff.
Oh, thank you.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah. As we grow, I want to be a fucking champion of you for sure. So
awesome. I appreciate that. That's why I keep going back. I feel the I feel the genuine connection here. It's good.
Sierra?
Yeah, echoing what everybody else is saying. Great show. I loved all our guests today. Super excited for you, Michael. This sounds really great. I'm definitely going to watch it I'm actually going to watch it this week. And going to turn our Twitter into a Michael Lake Stan account, and it'll be fine. Can't wait.
Lots of luck with your career.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cool.
I appreciate it.
And Grandpa, I love you. That's a wrap. Thank you so much to all our listeners. Oh, shit. That's our show.
Podcasting with Grandpa Bart and Rosie, always on his shoulder. This is Grandpa and Chill.
Grandpa and Chill is brought to you by your hosts, Brandon Fox, Bart Frank, and Phines Jackson. Our producer is Sierra Doss. You can find episodes old and new on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch the show, and follow us on Twitter for behind-the-scenes moments you can't get anywhere else.